And please join me and welcome Jennifer, Reverend Jennifer, for today's message and meditation.
Happy Sunday.
You gotta get those kinks ironed out. That's what it was about.
That's it. Ah, what a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. The title of this morning's talk is The Gift of Limitations. When I was putting this together, I found the contradictoriness of, we talk about always opening up to receive everything. There are no limitations, but there's a gift of limitations. We live in a world that worships options. More choices, more freedom, more runway, unlimited data, unlimited streaming, unlimited potential. The highest compliment you can give someone, the sky's the limit. What's wrong? What if that's wrong? What if the sky being the limit is actually the problem? In this one section here, I have to ask the musicians because I don't understand it. The trumpet with no bell. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. So the trumpet with no bell is just a pipe blowing air. A poem with no form is just rambling. And a river with no banks. That's not freedom, that's a swamp. We've been sold the story. Your limitations are the problem. The real you, the thriving, flourishing, fully alive you, exists on the other side of them. If you just had more money, more time, more health, more opportunity, then you could really, really live. So we spend enormous energy fighting our constraints, resenting them, mourning them, scrolling through other people's lives, wondering why their river seems wider than ours. And meanwhile, the life we actually have sits waiting. Quiet, patient, going nowhere. Because a river that's fighting its banks isn't flowing, it's flooding. And floods don't carve canyons, they just make a mess. This part here speaks to me as part of what the job that the Soil and Water Conservation District does is watershed restoration. What happens when a river gets narrow? It doesn't slow down, it speeds up. It gets focused, it finds force. Sit, stay. Better? Better, thank you. So when a river gets narrow, it doesn't slow down, it speeds up. We in Doñana County and the city of Las Cruces are very familiar with arroyos. Arroyos are deadly, they tell you that. So the water comes down off of the mountains in these storms, and when it's coming down off the mountain, it's not formed, but then it hits those forms, and it hits those arroyos, and it speeds through. And if you're in there when that water's coming through, you better find some place to get out or something to hold on to. So what we're talking about here is the gift of limitations. When we're going through our lives and we're in the younger part of our lives and the world is open to us, right? You're going through high school and you're just going along, but people say, you got to have a plan, you got to have a plan. You don't want a plan. Everything's open to you. You can do whatever you want. Your parents tell you that. Your teachers tell you that. You can do whatever you want to. And so you think about it as the water coming down and going over a plain, and it's very thin because it can go all over, so it really doesn't have any focus. It's wonderful for the aquifers because it's got time to sit and pond and soak back into the aquifers. However, it doesn't have a course. It doesn't have a purpose. So you think about someone who's now in their 40s. They've got kids, they've got a spouse, they've got their family, and they don't quite have all of those options, right? Going to Italy and backpacking across Europe is probably not one of the things that they can do anymore. However, because some of their options aren't really likely anymore, they focus more on what is theirs to do. What do they have and what can they do with it? And as we focus that energy, then it picks up speed. And it manifests more quickly. When we talk about manifesting the experiences we want to see in our life, we don't want to be too particular with it because we need to give the universe room to move. However, instead of saying, for instance, you want a new car, and you want it to be an SUV, and you want it to be just that right color of teal, and you want it to have, luggage racks on the top, and you want to make sure there's plenty of room for your dogs in the back, and when you put down the seat, there's not a gap between the front seat and the back seat so they don't get hurt when they're laying back there. It gets a little difficult for that to manifest unless you have the resources to go to the factory and say, I want it just like this. So you want the universe to provide that for you. You generalize it a little more, focused. I really, really want that teal color. And an SUV, and that's good. Well, as long as it's reliable transportation. But I have to be able to carry my dogs. Reliable transportation for me and my dogs. That's a little bit more viable and focused for the universe to put that into place for you more quickly. Because you can see Divine Spirit going, I want you to have reliable transportation, but you also want this. Well, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to wait until this, the car company isn't making a teal color right now. Being focused and specific are different things. I'm being focused on reliable transportation for me and my dogs. Maybe it'll be a truck with a camper instead. That is part of our work with recognizing our focused energy. Because the other thing we think about is when you're looking to manifest something and you put your focus and energy into it, you get more excited about it. Because I've got reliable transportation for my dogs now. I can go camping, or I can take them to go see my Aunt Mildred, or I can take them and we can go to Mexico, or we can go on trips. They don't have to stay at home. I don't have to stay at home because I don't like to go without my dogs. I'm happy. That energy builds in me because thinking of those things more often, that brings me joy. These wonderful things that I can do when I get this reliable transportation for me and my dogs, and these wonderful things we can do. And as that lifts me up, right? I'm happy, I'm positive, I'm looking forward to this, and it manifests, and I know when it manifests, these other things are going to fall into line, and I get so excited, and that's why I'm talking faster. Having limitations allows us to focus on what is ours to do and focus on what things really bring us joy. Yeah, I could be a nurse. I could be a teacher. And as it turns out, those are not things that really bring my chimes. I liked working with technology. It wasn't called technology at the time, it was called a typewriter. And so that's where my passions went into, and that's where my career unfolded to and brought me all kinds of opportunities and people and wonderfulness and different things. Because I finally focused on something that really held my interest. Yes, everything is available to me, but what's really holding my interest? What really gets me excited? That's focusing our energy. And that's the gift of limitations. Finding those gifts. Finding those things that interest us. And then once we focus on one or two or three things, then we're narrowing that. We're entering that arroyo, right? And just shooting down the mountain. And meeting our goal. Fast and furious. So here's the question I leave you with this morning. What if your limitation isn't blocking your purpose? What if it is the path? What if the thing you've been pushing against, the diagnosis, the door closed, the dream that didn't happen, the season you're in that feels too small, what if that's not in the way? What if it is the way? Stop fighting the banks. The river knows what to do. Stop fighting the banks. The river knows what to do. As we get ready for our meditation, I invite you to sit for this moment, for a moment. Get comfortable. You're going to be doing most of the work in this. Closing your eyes. Feeling comfortable, supported. Feet on the floor, back against the chair. Breathing in and breathing out. Just noticing.
Think of one limitation in your life right now. Something you've been pushing against, mourning, resenting. A door that closed. A version of yourself that didn't happen. Now ask a different question. Not why is this blocking me? Not why is this blocking me, but what is this shaping me toward? Now think, where have the banks formed around your life? And is it possible that's exactly where the river wants to flow? Taking another breath in and exhale. Where does the river want to flow? We don't need more options today. We need more courage to go deeper into the ones we have. Let it flow. We bring our awareness back into this space. feeling comfortable and relaxed. When you are ready, open your eyes.
We have a special guest return to us. Come on up, Hana. Hana Zara is going to play for us today. And since the last time she was here, she's been doing some traveling and rambling. She spent some time in India. How long were you over there?
I was there for 3 months.
And what did you do there?
My husband and I, we spent the first 60 days in India in a silent meditation retreat.
Then you went to Idaho?
Then we went to Idaho and we served a 10-day meditation retreat in the same tradition. So first we got to meditate for 60 days with a lot of very long-term practitioners. And then we got to serve a course where we were the managers, and we were helping about 40 students who were meditating for the first time through the same exact process.
That was in Idaho. And when she got back from India, she found out that a song she had written with her father had just gotten a lot of airplay on American folk music stations. We recorded it
Yeah.
at my studio, and while she was gone, it just got a lot of airplay across this country. Yeah.
Very
So she's
exciting.
been busy. Hannah's been busy.
It was great. I didn't get a chance. I didn't see my phone or my computer or anything. I was just completely in a retreat. But I come out, and the song that I recorded over at Doug's house had just spent 8 weeks at the top of the folk charts, and it went on to spend another 4 weeks at the top. So, but that song's a little political for this context. I'm going to play a song of gratitude for my parents. Born in a snowdrift, and so I learned to play along the rivers that lay still beneath my feet. And that winter you walked with me in a backpack through the woods, and I got a little bit of frostbite on my cheek. And I learned then what love is as you carried me inside. You sat me by the fire till I was warm again. And I learned then what love is as you tucked me into bed. You gave me all you had and asked for nothing. Yeah, I learned what love is. I learned what love is. And when my heart was breaking, you picked me up from school. Well, I tried to keep it in, but you knew. And you told me you'd been there and that I could let it out. You drove 90 miles an hour down the freeway, and we screamed So thank you for not expecting me to be successful all the time, for reading Tatterhood, for singing lullabies. Oh, and sleeping bears are sleeping in the forest until we wake them and we shake them and they go dancing through the streets. Sometimes I'm 4 years old and dancing as I'm standing on your feet. Oh, and thank you for always being there to point me north, for pulling me back in when my ship drifted too far from the shore. 'Cause as strong as the storms were, well, this family was stronger. Oh my God, can you believe we made it all this way? Yeah, I still laugh with all my laughter, and I cry with all my pain, and the love you gave me walks beside me all my days. I was born in a snowdrift, and so the story goes. I didn't fall far from your tree, but I'm growing roots now of my own. So when your body can't keep you, and you leave this world behind, I hope you go with peace and certainty into that tender